What's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm officially back after taking a couple of months off, and it feels so good to be making videos again. So getting right into it, I decided to do a tulip theme because I'm just in love with any plant theme, and more than half of my themes this year have been plant themes, and I'm honestly not mad about it. But I've been extremely busy lately, so I wanted to keep this month's spread relatively simple and quick, so I just drew one large tulip in the center of the cover page, and then wrote the month underneath the tulip in a simple cursive. I also decided to give the monthly header a bit more dimension by drawing drop shadows, and I can't tell if I like it or not, so let me know in the comments how you feel about the header design. To finish off the cover page, I colored in the tulip using a nice deep red color. You can use any color you'd like, but for some reason this red color was calling my name, so I just had to use it for this month. For my calendar spread, I used my favorite open layout, and I make this by only drawing the horizontal lines of the calendar. This is my favorite layout because it, 1, makes the whole spread feel more open and airy, and 2, it gives just a bit more space to write inside the calendar. I then wrote the numbers centered at the top of each day, but you can write the numbers in any place that feels right for you. I want to quickly thank all of you who have stuck around during my abrupt absence. Posting photos and videos honestly started to get a bit stressful, and I had to remind myself that I started this channel and my Instagram page as something fun for me to do, and it just wasn't feeling fun anymore, so I had to step back and take some time to reset. I feel a lot better after taking that time off, and I want you all to know that it's okay to slow down and focus on your mental health. I appreciate each and every one of you so much, and I am so thankful for all the love and support you bring to my channel. But moving along, I wrote the monthly header all across the top of the spread and then highlighted the area above the calendar where I will write in the days of the week. And then the empty space along the right side of the spread, I drew a couple of tulips that spanned the entire right side. Sometimes in this space, I will also add a notes or a goals section, but I haven't really been using that lately, so I left it out. But you can easily add that section back in if you like to use it. And then lastly, I wrote in the days of the week above the calendar and colored in the tulips. This first weekly spread is one you have seen quite often from my channel, but it just looks so good with every theme, it's hard for me not to use it. Ever since the first time I used these banners, I've been obsessed with them, and I have to stop myself from using them in every single spread. I just feel like these banners can make any spread significantly more vibrant and elegant, and they honestly haven't looked bad in a spread yet. So if you ever feel like your layouts are too simple, try throwing a cute banner in there and it'll make everything come together so well. Around the boxes, I decorated the page with some tulips and then wrote in my mini calendar at the top right corner of the page. The only purpose of this mini calendar is to show me what point in the month we are at. It's not really necessary to include this on every spread, but I personally like to know which week in the month I'm at when I'm using my journal. Then in the last remaining space at the top left side of the page, I wrote in the monthly header. Next, I used the red marker to color in all of the banners. If you feel that this color is a lot, then you can of course use a different, more subtle color for the banners instead. It doesn't have to match the theme, but I personally like everything to be one color. And now, as you can see, I just colored in all of the tulips. To complete the spread, I wrote in all of the days of the week into the banners using a simple cursive handwriting, and I put the number for each day in the bottom right corner of each box. For my second weekly spread, I chose a layout that I don't use that often but still enjoy using. I mostly like to use it because it looks very clean and minimal, and it gives you a lot of space to write out tasks for each day, and I definitely need that with how busy my days are right now. But I just section off the page in equal parts, with leaving some space at the top, and stack the days from top to bottom. And for this time, I decided to write the days of the week towards the center of the page, so I made sure to leave space along that line for the days. And I also drew flags along the outer edges of the page for the number of each day. And as you can see, the extra space at the top of the page is for the monthly header. I don't know if I do this subconsciously now, but I always like to alternate between open and closed layouts. And by that, I mean I don't like to have two similar types of spreads on back-to-back weeks. I like each week to feel separate from one another, and also having each one look different makes me more motivated and excited to use each of them. I'm also way more productive when I actually use my planner, so I need to make these spreads in a way that makes me want to use them and that fits my needs. Just always keep in mind that everyone likes different things in their planner, so it's always perfectly fine to change things up to fit your style and personal needs. And that's one of the main reasons to make a bullet journal for yourself. You get to customize every single thing to make it all work to your benefit. In the empty space at the bottom right of the spread, I drew in some tulips to tie in the theme. But you could instead use the space as an extra bonus section for notes or goals, and then draw some tulips up at the top near the header. And to finish off the spread, I just wrote in the numbers and the days of the week. This next spread is quickly becoming one of my favorite layouts. I didn't even notice until this month that I've used it in most of the months of this year already, but that's not going to stop me from using it in future months. I like this spread so much I even use a slightly different version of it for another spread in this month, which you will see soon. But basically for this layout, I drew 8 boxes localized to the center of the page, and also left some space at the top of the page for the monthly header. This next part can be done in many different ways, but I left an open spot at the bottom of each box near the center of the page for the days of the week. So if you don't like having the days at the bottom of the box, you can easily move them to the top, and it's personal preference if you want the days to be closer to or further from the center of the page. Then I filled in the open spaces along the 2 edges with tulips. If you like spreads to be more filled in, you can easily add in more tulips than I did, but I like my spreads to be more minimal, so I only drew 3 on each side. You also don't have to use these empty spaces for doodles if there's other things you like to add into your spreads instead. There's already an extra box for notes in this layout, but you can also add more extra boxes along the sides for goals or a task list. You can add weekly trackers as well if you like to track habits or other things during the week instead of using a monthly spread. Next, I wrote in the days of the week in my regular handwriting. Again, you can move this part around to have the days where you like them best, and you can also use whatever lettering style you like. And lastly, I colored in all of the tulips. So you all know I love this spread, but I also like to know what you guys think of each one. So let me know in the comments how you like each of the spreads from this month, because I always take your feedback and I try to make my spreads better and more functional, not only for myself, but for you as well. My fourth weekly spread is one of the simplest and most minimal spreads I use, and depending on your style, you're either going to love it or hate it. If you're someone who likes to write a lot under each day, then you're definitely going to love it because this layout gives you the most space out of all the spreads I use. I keep the daily sections completely open with just a simple header separated into 3 sections. One section for the number of the day, one for the month, and one for the year. Then I highlight the space above the header to write in the day of the week. And as always, I added the monthly header to the top of the page with the mini calendar to the top right corner. Like I said before, I fill out the daily headers by writing in the days of the week in the highlighted section, and then from left to right, fill in the 3 sections with the number of each day, the first 3 letters of the month, and the last 2 numbers of the year. You can make this header even more minimal if you don't like the look of it, just by making a simple banner and only writing in the days of the week. Then to complete the spread, I just drew in 2 tulips in the empty corner of the page. I didn't want to draw more than 2 tulips because this page has so much white space that if there were too many flowers, it would just overpower the entire spread. So to make everything flow together, I kept it only at 2 flowers. Instead of drawing the tulips here, you could also add in an extra section if you wanted to. I have done this in the past, and to tie in the theme, I just draw 1 or 2 small flowers in both corners at the bottom of the page. Last but certainly not least, we have my favorite weekly spread for this month. This one is very similar in style to the third weekly spread, but because I formatted it in a different way, it feels like a completely new spread to me. So I drew the same boxes as in the third spread, but I organized them to the outer edges of the page instead of the middle. I also moved them closer to the top of the page and left space for the days of the week near the outer edges of each box. And instead of having the monthly header at the top of the page like I normally do, I moved it to be across the bottom. So to make this spread feel different enough from the other one, I basically did the opposite layout. Then I filled in the days of the week into each box with my regular handwriting. I kind of wish I used a different handwriting for this one, but it's kind of too late now and I still like how it turned out anyway. Another thing I did to make the spread feel different from the other one was drawing the tulips upside down. So instead of having the stems going towards the bottom of the page, I made them going towards the top. I honestly didn't know how I was going to like this idea when I was drawing it, but it ended up looking so much better than I had imagined. But be sure to let me know in the comments if you like how this layout turned out and if you like this one or the third weekly spread better. For my habit tracker, I drew 5 mini calendars to track 5 different habits. I really like this layout and use it quite often because it keeps the habits separated from one another, which helps me focus on each one a lot better. Sometimes I get a bit overwhelmed when the habits are written too close together, or when there are too many habits to track and then I end up not filling out the spread at all. But because I was gone for a while on vacation and have been super busy lately, I haven't really been sticking to my habit trackers. So for this next month, I really want to focus on getting back into a routine and getting my life organized again, and a habit tracker is the perfect way to do that. As always, I kept the header similar to all my other spreads by using a simple cursive handwriting with drop shadows, and then I wrote tracker in all caps underneath. The habits I want to focus on to get myself back on track is working out, reading, eating healthy, journaling, and posting on Instagram. The two that I struggle with the most is finding time to read and journal. Life is so crazy busy right now that it's hard to slow down and take time for myself, so these are 2 things I want to incorporate into each day to give myself some relaxing time. But please let me know in the comments what you like to do to relax so I can have some more options. And as you can see, there was some extra space at the bottom of the spread, so I just filled that in with 2 tulips. There is some more space if you want to add more doodles, but I wanted to keep it pretty simple, so I only drew 2. And lastly, I made an extremely simple mood tracker because I haven't really been using them lately, so I thought making it really simple would maybe get me to use it more. But I just put a scale from 0 to 10 at the top and lined all the days vertically down the page on the left. And to fill it out, I will just draw a line across the page to rate my mood from 0 to 10. But that is all for my September Plan With Me video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some good ideas for your own journal. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video.